Get that gun out of your hand.
I'm a goddamn Connecticut State Trooper.
I don't care who you are.
Right now.
You spit in my face.
My property right now.
You're going to jail now.
Get
Look
off
at this.
my property
Look
right
at this. He's spit in my face. You say you're
right
going
in
to jail.
Face.
It's all being recorded.
I don't care.
I know you don't care.
Because
you don't face any consequences. Don't
this is
spit in
the
my
biggest
face.
mistake you ever made.
No, it's not.
This is the biggest mistake
you ever made. Look at the gun in his hand. Okay. He spit in my face. I want him arrested.
Turn around for me.
Do what you got to do, man. Do what you got to do. This is ridiculous.
Because of the fact that the Groton PD sort of cooked the books here and tried to help Fahey, instead of observing this objectively, they've opened themselves up for some federal lawsuits too.
Hey, what's up guys? Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. Thank you all for joining me for this live stream. Please hit the like button and share this video so as many people can see this tyranny and injustice as possible. I want to first and foremost thank each and every one of you for your continued support. It means the world to me. Tomorrow, I will be arraigned on felony voyeurism with malice, criminal trespassing, as well as breach of the peace, myself and my cameraman. So this is an injustice that's happening. If they can do this to me, they can do this to each and every one of you. I am fully ready to go to court tomorrow in New London. If you would like to come and attend the arraignment and the peaceful, let me say that again, peaceful protest, please come. I want you there. I want as many eyes on this as possible. I know a lot of you are coming already. I've gotten emails, phone calls from people that are going to attend. Be peaceful. Let's all make it home to our families. We already know how the Groton Police Department and the Connecticut law enforcement agencies operate. They will violate our constitutional rights. They will unlawfully arrest you for some bogus charges. That's just par for the course in Connecticut. Excuse me, corrupted, and I keep getting that wrong. I just wanted to note, I left the address to the courthouse in the description right below the like button. And also, there isn't any parking lot for the courthouse. It's only very limited street parking. So either get there really early. My arraignment is at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Either get there early, or I also left an address for a public parking garage, and then you can, it's a 10-minute walk or Uber, whatever you prefer. But if you decide to come tomorrow, be peaceful. Sergeant Bryan Fahey's overtime totals from 2019 to 2024. Listen up closely. And this was for all this information was provided to me by Maurice, a supporter. Thank you. I really appreciate it. His total overtime over the last 6 years from 2019 to 2024 was $507,000. $507,000. Can you believe it? It is absolutely insane. The yearly breakdown is in 2019, he earned is a loose term. He had $70,000 in overtime. 2020, he had $92,000 in overtime. 2021, $85,000 in overtime. 2022, $94,000 in overtime. 2023, $89,000 in overtime. 2024, $77,000 in overtime. That's from 2019 to 2024. That is an average per year in overtime of $84,000 over that 6 year span. $84,500. Again, $84,500 on average. Sergeant Bryan Fahey. And again, I don't know when he started his desk job. He was working it in 2021 and in 2023. So I know for a fact that he started in 2021. That he was there in 2021, that he was there in 2021, and that he was there to at least 2023. And in 2021 and 2023, he made $85,000, $94,000, and then $89,000 in overtime. So, they want to focus on knocking on the door, but they don't want to focus on this overtime scandal. These are questions that need to be asked. We, the people, need to ask these questions, and we need to get to the bottom of it. His projected overtime for this year, 2025, projected out, obviously we're not doing 2025 yet, is $100,000. So his projected total over 7 years is $600,000 approximately in overtime for someone who held the desk job for at least a portion of those 6 years. At least 3 years of those 6 years, half the time, he worked a 9 to 5. And I think it's funny, and I also want to note that very ironic that I arrived at Sergeant Bryan Fahey's residence at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Friday, and he was home, obviously, or else this would have never taken place. So he was home at 3 o'clock. Now check this out. If this is his overtime hours estimated, right? If paid at a time and a half, $84,500 a year. That would mean he would need to work 19 hours of overtime per week. That's equivalent to a 12-hour workday for 7 straight consecutive days. That's how much Sergeant Fahey would need to work to make $84,500 if he's getting paid time and a half. 19 hours of overtime every single week. Every single week. 12 hours every single day. If no overtime, he would have to work 30 hours extra a week, equivalent to a 70-hour work week. And again, he was home at 3 p.m. on a Friday. Seems pretty early. Pistol permits, I think, is open until 5 o'clock. It just doesn't add up. The man is making $600,000 in the last 6 years on overtime alone. His base salary is about $115,000 approximately. He's making 70% approximately of his base salary in overtime for 6 years straight, every single year. Is he just working? This is not counting, obviously vacations or anything like that. But at the end of the day, it just doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. So I also wanted to share with each and every one of you, and that's why I asked the question, right? That's why I asked the question. So I'm being charged with criminal trespassing. Tomorrow I will be arraigned on the charges of criminal trespassing in the first degree, voyeurism with malice, a Class D felony, as well as breach of the peace in the second degree. So, excuse me. Criminal trespassing. Trespass in the first degree involves entering or remaining in a building or real property knowingly without permission or privilege to do so. Did I commit that crime? That's the element of criminal trespassing. Did I commit that crime? I want to really explain this to you so that way you understand how egregious it is. The state's attorney for New London is Paul Narducci, and I'm calling on him to do the right thing. This is a grave injustice that's happening in Corrupticate, and he needs to do the right thing and end it. Stop it now. He can dismiss my charges tomorrow. He can file a motion to dismiss. I'm sure my attorney, Stephen Seeger, would love nothing more, and we could be done with this. And he should charge Fahey. We'll get to what he should charge Fahey with in a second. Voyeurism with malice, the Class D felony. Voyeurism with malice refers to knowingly observing, photographing, or filming another person without consent in a place where that person has a reasonable expectation of privacy with malicious intent. I'll tell you right now, I have no malicious intent towards Sergeant Bryan Fahey. All I want is accountability for his egregious actions. The first time he assaulted me and violated my constitutional rights. The second time he violated me and violated my constitutional rights and assaulted me. I wanted accountability. I have no malice towards the man. If I had malicious intent towards Sergeant Bryan Fahey, I would have never blurred out his home address from the video. It is not illegal for me to publish public information such as his home address. I, on my own, blurred out his home address out of respect for privacy of individuals. That's it. If that was my intent, a malicious intent, why wouldn't I post his address for the world to see? I didn't want to do it because my intent isn't malicious. My intent is accountability. My intent is transparency. That's what my intent is. Secondly, he had no reasonable expectation of privacy as soon as he opened that door. As soon as you open your door, you have no reasonable expectation of privacy. I didn't go looking through his window. I stepped off of his porch. This charge is ridiculous. They only charged me with this, and they're only prosecuting me for this crime because they needed to make an arrest on scene. It's a whole conspiracy. The Groton Police Department, the town of Groton, and the Connecticut State Police conspired against me and charged me with these bogus crimes so that way they can maliciously prosecute me and punish me and give me a $75,000 bond. And you know what? I have been in the criminal justice system many times over the last 4 years, the criminal injustice system. But for my cameraman to be charged with a felony, he has no criminal history. He is a good young man. And all he did was hold a camera for me. He had a job. He just had one job to do and hold the camera. He did it well. I don't know many other people that with a crazed lunatic individual coming at them with a gun is just going to hold the camera perfectly. And he did it perfectly. He did an amazing job. But he's charged with a felony. He's charged with 2 misdemeanors. It's ridiculous. And then we're also charged with breach of the peace. Breach of the peace, the elements, again, we've all seen the video, involves an engaging in violent or seriously disruptive conduct that poses a risk of public inconvenience, annoyance, or alarm. Engaging in violent or seriously disruptive conduct. That sounds like Sergeant Fahey. Doesn't sound like anything that I did. I knocked on a door, stepped off of the porch, asked him a question. He told me to leave. I turned around and left. And criminal trespassing makes no sense either. You know, you have to remain on the property. I left immediately. The video evidence does not lie. This is why I exercised my First Amendment right to record in public, because the police officer, if I didn't have video of this, what would have been the outcome? What would have been the outcome? This is something that, you know, I am really like, I cannot believe that this is actually taking place in the United States of America. Like, I really can't. The crime Sergeant Bryan Fahey should be charged with: threatening in the first degree. Now let's look at the elements, and you tell me, you make the decision. By physical threat or statement, the person intentionally places or attempts to place another in fear of imminent serious physical injury, or threatens to commit a violent crime with the intent to cause evacuation of a building, intent to cause public inconvenience, acting with reckless disregard of the high risk of causing such inconvenience or terror. Use or implication of a firearm can satisfy the element of causing fear of imminent serious physical injury. And we know he had his finger on the trigger, firearm in hand, spit in my face. The disgusting delinquent that he is. Reckless endangerment, another charge he could be charged with. Oh, by the way, that's a Class D felony, threatening in the first degree. He should be charged with it. I'm calling on State's Attorney Paul Narducci of New London to charge Sergeant Bryan Fahey of the Connecticut State Police with these crimes. He meets the elements. I don't meet the elements of my alleged crimes that I am being unlawfully and maliciously prosecuted with. My elements don't meet, but his elements do. The elements of his crimes do. Reckless endangerment. Let's look at the statute for reckless endangerment here. The defendant recklessly engages in conduct. The conduct creates a risk or serious physical injury of serious physical injury to another person. Do you think Sergeant Bryan Fahey engaged in reckless conduct that created a risk of serious physical injury to another person? Of course he did. Of course he did. Spitting in my face, threatening me with a firearm in his hand when I was clearly leaving his property. The conduct is carried out under the circumstances an extreme indifference to human life. Yeah, extreme indifference to human life. And also false reporting of an incident, right? He made a false statement to 911. He threatened my life. I have never publicly nor privately ever threatened anyone's life, let alone Sergeant Bryan Fahey's. I don't want to threaten his life. That is not my goal. My goal is not to threaten his life. My goal is to hold him accountable for his criminal actions. Again, none of this would have been happening. None of this if he had just walked back in and gone back to work. That's all he had to do. Stop worrying about what I was doing outside in public, recording the Connecticut State Police headquarters, and go back into work. That's all he had to do. That's all he had to do. He was a very busy man. He didn't care about my constitutional rights violation I was trying to tell him about. But his ego kept him from going back inside and getting back to work. So he assaults me, he violates my rights, he does it again when I return to the Connecticut State Police headquarters. This is what he does. This is the kind of conduct he engages in. And it's very unfortunate. Now I could have any sort of disease that he could have given me by spitting in my face and my mouth. And to add insult to injury, I am now being maliciously prosecuted by the New London State's Attorney Paul Narducci, which I hope he drops all the charges against me. I hope he declines to prosecute a null pros. He declines to prosecute. He has full discretion. But if he maliciously prosecutes me, what is our recourse? Tomorrow, if I'm getting arraigned, I plead not guilty. My cameraman not guilty. And they keep this charade, this
injustice going? What is our recourse? State's attorneys in Connecticut aren't elected. They're appointed by some committee, some commission they're appointed by the governor. There's no accountability. This is what they did in Danbury. I don't know if I have no idea if the state's attorney has integrity, he has morals. I have no idea. I don't know him. I will know tomorrow. I'll tell you that. Tomorrow will be the day, July 25th at 10 a.m. That's going to be the day where I know if when I know if Paul Narducci has any integrity or morals. That's what I'll know. Listen, guys, this is a crazy, crazy, crazy story. This should have never happened. This was a grave injustice. I just wanted to come on here quick. I know it's been 17 minutes already. I'm sorry I had all this prepared for you guys, but my computer malfunctioned or whatever. Couldn't show it to you, but hopefully you got the gist of it. I didn't commit the elements of any of the crimes that they are alleging I committed, that we all know. They're doing it in front of your face. They're doing it in front of your face. And you bootlickers and sheep out there, guess what? You might not like me. You might not like that I knocked on his door looking for accountability and transparency. $600,000 in overtime in 6 years? Come on. In 7 years, whatever it is, every single year, you want your tax dollars being spent like that? Of course you do. You're a bootlicker. You just want to lick the boots of people with power. That's what you want to do. You're a sheep. You follow these people. You think that all law enforcement officers are some sort of heroes. You put them up on a pedestal. They are public servants. We, the people, have the power in this country. We, the people, these law enforcement officers need to learn their place. They are a much needed. Listen, I'm not anti-law enforcement. You guys know this by now. 4 years I've been saying it. I work with law enforcement. I go on ride-alongs. I attend command staff meetings. I go to district attorneys' offices. I train law enforcement agencies across this country. I open dialogue. I have law enforcement officers, retired, active duty law enforcement officers on my channel. I would have one on that disagreed with me, but they're too much of a coward to come on. This is not about being anti-law enforcement. This is about being anti-tyranny. And, you know, Sergeant Fahey says, I'm protecting my family and my home. It was the opposite direction. His family and his home were in the opposite direction. That's not what he was doing. He was trying to intimidate me. He wanted to kill me. That's why he spit in my face, to provoke a reaction so he can unload his clip and take my life. That's why he did that. He wasn't protecting anything. He was being the criminal tyrant he's always been. And I know that there are people watching this that have been victims of Connecticut State Trooper Sergeant Bryan Fahey. And I'm asking you to have the courage to come forward. I will protect you. I know this man is unhinged. I know that he will retaliate against people. He's capable of anything. He is capable of any sort of criminal action. But I know that I am not the only victim of Sergeant Bryan Fahey. There has to be dozens of victims over his 20-year career. He shot a man back in 2014. I'm still looking into that. I'm looking into speaking with members of that man's family. He was suspended for 2 years. I mean, there's something to that. I'm looking into that. I'm looking into the overtime. But if you're a victim of Sergeant Bryan Fahey, please email me. Please reach out to me, longislandordered@gmail.com. I will tell your story. And do not worry about retaliation, because I will have your back. I give you my word. We, the people, will have your back. The same way the people have had my back throughout every of these injustices that I face, with Sergeant Bryan Fahey, we will have your back. So please reach out to me at longislandordered@gmail.com. Tomorrow is going to be a very pivotal day. It is an important day for justice. It is an important day for accountability. And we will see what happens. Again, State's Attorney Paul Narducci, New London, Connecticut. I hope you do the right thing, because at the end of the day, we the people are watching, and we will hold you accountable. You know, we can't vote you out. We can submit complaints. We can file complaints with the Bar Association, I'm sure. There's probably a lot we can do. We can protest. I can bring my LED billboard truck. We will peacefully, and again, peacefully exercise our First Amendment rights tomorrow and any other time that we need to, because I'm not going anywhere. I promise you that. I am not going anywhere. I want to thank James White. I want to thank my attorney, Steven Seeger, my other attorney, Alex Talbis, Jacob Uriel. They have all had my back throughout all of these injustices that I faced. And each and every one of you, most importantly, have had my back. We have over 50,000 signatures on the petition to fire and prosecute Sergeant Bryan Fahey. 50,000 signatures. And they don't listen. They don't listen. Why? Because they don't care. They don't care to. They think that they are above us. And it's time they learn that no, we the people, they serve us. They are public servants. So if you're coming tomorrow, the address is in the description below. There's a parking garage, 10-minute walk away, or park somewhere else, very limited parking. There's no public parking allowed at the courthouse. I've been to this courthouse before to support another patriot who was facing an injustice. But listen, guys, we really need to stick together on this one. We really do. And I appreciate all your support. Again, be peaceful tomorrow. Be peaceful. Let's show them our strength through peace. Let's show them our strength by filling up that courtroom. I will be bringing Sergeant Bryan Fahey, Fire Sergeant Bryan Fahey t-shirts for everybody who comes. We the People hats. I will be bringing all sorts of merch. So if you come, I'll give you this Cop to a shirt. I have a bunch of them printed out already. Shout out to Prime Threads locally here on Long Island. I'm going to be giving out shirts, hats, and we're going to protest. And we're going to protest the state's attorney, the Groton Police Department, the Connecticut State Police Department, and most importantly, Sergeant Bryan Fahey. Thank you all. Please hit the like button and share this video so it could be seen by as many people as possible. I will see you tomorrow. I will be going live tomorrow, as you can imagine. So I'll see you tomorrow. If you can't make it, watch, share, do what you can, comment, sign the petition. I appreciate you guys. I love you all. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next one. Long Island Audit. Peace.